Welcome to the Christmas special of the Thinking is Infinite podcast. Today we talk about our best Christmas songs. We do a little commercial parodies, and we talk about hydrogen peroxide and an IRL segment. And yeah, enjoy the podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to the Thinking is Infinite podcast with Joe
And John.
And we are going to be doing a little continuation of the last podcast. Last podcast, we talked about our worst Christmas songs. If you want to hear it, make sure to go back to last episode, rewatch it a bit if you want to hear our worst Christmas songs. But today we're going to be doing our best Christmas songs.
Yes, everyone, welcome to our Christmas episode. This is the one that we'll be uploading right before Christmas, right, Joe?
Yeah.
So at your... while you're cooking your Christmas dinner or enjoying your day off, give the podcast a listen. And if you like it, go back to the previous episodes, right, Joe?
That's right. And we're going to be... So, do you have your favorite Christmas songs?
I do. Why don't you lead off, Joe?
Okay. My favorite, number three is a controversial choice. It's kind of like a love it or hate it song. I love it, but I know other people don't. It's Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. This song you either love or you hate. I love it. I personally think her high notes and the way that she really belts out her voice really, I really like how, the beat's steady. She sounds really nice when she's singing. It does kind of sound like auto-tune, but not that much. I feel like I just love the music, the voice in the song, but I do know this is a very controversial thing.
It is a little bit, but you know what I like?
Kind of love it or hate it thing.
I actually am one of those people that is, I can't say that I love it, but I definitely don't hate it. I think it's a pretty good song to listen to. Here's why I think people don't like it.
Or some people don't. Some people do.
They play it a lot. And I think what happens
is... That's true, though. It's it's kind of like what happened with Frozen. And, you remember in 2012 they were playing Let It Go so much that you literally swore your head was going to go mad if they played another song of Let It Go. That's kind of what it was. They play it so much at Christmas time, and that kind of, yeah.
But you know what? Let's face it, Mariah Carey has an iconic voice. I think she debuted when I was still in high school, and so that's a long time. And she has a great voice, and it's a really upbeat
and positive song.
Exactly.
I can't say it's my best, but it is something that I would put as my third.
Joe, I respect that choice.
Number two, my second choice. Sorry about that, Dad. Second choice is probably Feliz. Wait. No, that's
Navidad?
No, that's actually my other choice.
Okay, so number one, he revealed his number one already.
Spoiler alert. This one, the second one, is a song that I don't know if you know. It's actually a song called Santa Tell Me by Ariana Grande.
Yes, I do.
That one, I think her voice, I think Ariana just is a really good singer. She sings really high, but I think she sings really well. Especially if you go back to some of, her older songs, on Victoria, she made, Give It Up. That song is absolutely great. And she has a beautiful singing voice, and her very, upbeat and positive voice goes well with the lyrics, too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It goes well with the Christmas song, so it makes sense that Ariana Grande would put up a Christmas song.
Well, she is one of the biggest artists of the last 10 years maybe, right?
Yeah.
At least, or close to it. And amazingly, she was on that show that you were saying. I remember you guys watching it when we were kids. And if you would have told me she would have been the big star of that show, I would have been a little surprised. But she does have an incredible voice. I have to say, a lot of her songs recently I'm not the biggest fan of. However, I do like that song. That song's actually an enjoyable song to listen to. So I think that's another pretty good choice, Joe.
Yeah, and the number one song is... Oh, it was already revealed. Feliz Navidad. I love Spanish music. I am actually a big fan of it. I've listened to multiple Spanish songs. I actually listen to so many Spanish songs that YouTube sometimes thinks that I'm Spanish, and it puts on Spanish ads.
So you get Spanish ads?
Yeah, I actually do. Sometimes I'll get an ad. It'll go in Spanish.
I did not know that. I didn't know if you watch enough Spanish videos, they start feeding you Spanish ads.
Yeah, because they
So
think
you're getting
that
a lot
you're
of Goya
Spanish.
ads?
Yeah. Well, no, actually, like McDonald's in Spanish, it'll be like,
yeah,
yeah, like that, yeah.
So wait a minute. This is a reveal. What videos are you watching in Spanish? Is there a certain star? Is there a certain singer?
Usually I'm like, I listen to like a couple. I listen to like Mi Gente, that song. I've listened to Feliz Navidad, obviously. I listen to De Una Vez. I listen to a bunch of them, and yeah, sometimes I'll get like a Spanish ad playing.
Joe got algorithmed into a Spanish guy. Very, very cool. I did not see. We had a reveal on today's Christmas episode that I did not think I was going to hear from Joseph, but apparently Spanish music is something that he digs. And Feliz Navidad, yeah, it's one of those songs, Joe, that is just an upbeat. I see a theme with your 3 songs, and you know what? I think you're going to see a similar theme with my 3 songs. Mm-hmm. You probably don't know the 3 songs I have, but I think the common theme is that they're very positive songs, very upbeat songs.
Yep.
You know, it's something about Christmas music. It is, and any music, Joe. It's very personal. Like certain songs just hit and it just feels good to you, or maybe something really good was happening when the song was being played because it brings back a memory. And which is going to lead me to my songs and why, and I'm going to give you a little heads up as to why they're my 3 favorite songs. Now, my 3rd favorite Christmas song, I think it's called Merry New Year Christmas by the lead singer from Matchbox 20. Did you ever hear that song, Joe?
No, actually, I've never have.
All right, well, it's a more upbeat, has a little more rock to it, and it came out maybe like 20 years ago. And it's just a very upbeat, good song. It's I'm wishing you a very New Year Christmas, a prayer for peace on earth within our time. And I always thought that song had such a positive message, and it's something I really, truly enjoyed. And, you know, my 2nd favorite is a song called Something About Christmas Time. And this, Joe, I'm pretty sure you never heard it, and I'll play it for Joe afterwards. Now, the reason why we're not playing these songs, it would be so much fun to actually play a little clip of these songs, Joe. But in the last episode, Joe revealed to me that if you stop playing songs on these podcasts, they can remove them. They can remove the podcast from you, and stop you from doing putting any songs on there. So unfortunately, we have to do this, and we have to hope you guys know the song or remember the song.
Or just play it on your own.
Or play it on your own.
You know, just click on just
after
search up
to the
music, obviously,
and share the podcast and rate it and give us a great rating. And
obviously,
give us a wonderful Christmas present by rating it. But Something About Christmas Time is a song from the mid-'80s, and there's a certain line. Now, remember I was telling you how certain songs can bring you back to a certain memory? There's a certain line that says, see the joy in the children's eyes and the way that the old folks smile. Ooh. Says that Christmas will never go away. And what that reminds me of, Joe, it reminds me of when I was a kid. We would go to my grandparents on Christmas Day, right?
Okay.
And they had a tree that wasn't very big, but it had, instead of ornaments, it had envelopes on it. Mm-hmm. And all the relatives would come, and there'd be, we'd have a few toys from family members, aunts, uncles, things like that. But my grandfather used to give everyone a card for Christmas, no matter who you were. Even if you stumbled over as a neighbor, he somehow had a card on that Christmas tree for you. And everyone would sit down in his little living room. It wasn't a very large living room. Joe, you were there before they passed away. I don't know if you remember their house that much, but
no.
They had a very small living room. Looking back, I thought it was monstrous, but it was a small living room, and we'd all pile in there, and he would just shout out. As soon as he saw a gift, he would shout the name, and then you'd run up and pick it up, and you'd shout out, and then he'd go through the cards. And I just remember it being such a happy day, and when that song comes on, it reminds me of my grandfather and my grandmother and my older aunts that are not with us anymore, and my older uncles that aren't with us anymore. And, and it doesn't go away for me. So that's why that's my second favorite song.
Wow, that's actually something I never knew. Actually, I never remembered going there just because I guess I was so little at the time. I just don't remember it anymore.
Yeah.
How little was I?
I think the last time you were there was 2013 or 2014.
Oh.
Well, your last time you were there, so it has been a while. It was.
Wait, was that Grandma Edith?
Yeah, you were at Grandma Edith's house.
Oh yeah, I've been there. Yeah,
of course.
But I don't remember the grandfather,
hard.
but I do remember Grandma Edith.
Well,
I remember her.
My grandfather passed away in 2004, 2 years before you were born.
Oh.
And he, and I remember Kayla was very young at the time. Your sister.
Yeah,
and
she was only 1 year old at that time.
I think the last time he saw her, I remember he goes, "She's so beautiful," and that was the last time he had seen her, and he had passed away in 2004. So yeah, that's why you don't remember my grandfather.
And then Grandma Edith passed away, I think in 2015 or
2016. January of 2016, yeah, she did, and she was an amazing woman. So
she was just really old,
Yeah, listen, life and that's
life passes you by
in her
eventually.
90s, but God bless her, she was such a positive influence on my life. So that song reminds me. So every time I hear that song, I think of me being a little kid in the '80s in a happy moment and a happy day, and that was always the feeling that I got. And now I'm starting to think it was the number one song that I got. But anyway, my number one favorite is a song that, Joe, you probably have heard. I'm pretty sure you have heard. Have you ever seen the movie Home Alone 2?
Yeah, a little bit.
Lost in New York or whatever it's called.
A little bit of it, yeah.
Well, there's a song in there, Nobody Should Be Alone on Christmas.
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard of that one.
Really upbeat, positive song. I love it. Every time that's on that movie, I am it just puts me in a good mood, and it is one of my favorite songs. I would like to say it's my favorite song. So you know the song, right?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Next time you watch the movie, and I'm sure you're gonna watch it before, and maybe we'll watch it on Christmas Day when you're over.
Yeah.
And you'll hear the song that I'm saying, and you'll see why I like it.
Home Alone 2 is kind of odd because it's kind of like a copy of the first one, but it's not quite. It's odd too because they literally copy the first one in some scenes.
Yeah, they do. But you know what's funny about it? It actually, for some sequels, some second movies, they just don't do well. I thought that was a pretty good one. I thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah, because it was just the first one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's those two guys getting beat up by the kid.
Yeah, it was just the first one on repeat, but that actually kind of is odd because the first one was enjoyable, so the second one's going to be enjoyable. It's like a clone, I guess you could say. But if you make a clone, it's the same thing.
But you know what sometimes I've watched a movie and they do the same jokes or the same things, and the second one is the first one, and it doesn't really do well to me. I thought that was a good one though, and I remember enjoying it when I first saw it, and I could still enjoy it now.
The Home Alones after that kind of went down though.
I have not even seen them. I don't even want to see them.
The Home Alones after that were just kind of not really
I don't
good,
want to see it.
And then they kind of fell down. But yeah. Anyways, I did listen to that song. It was very positive, very. It kind of presented a good message, and I feel like it was a really good Christmas song that I just didn't include it because it just wasn't quite in my top 3.
Well, you know what's interesting? There are so many songs. There's so many slow songs, White Christmas, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. There's so many
Christmas
enjoyable songs.
If you have a good Christmas song, you feel free to leave it in the Facebook comment below, because that's actually a really good way for you to spread what your Christmas songs are, because I want to know what are your favorite Christmas songs.
Yeah, Joe. When we upload this podcast, Joe will put in there what are your favorite songs, and we'd love to hear your comments about your
favorite
all-time
Christmas
favorites.
songs.
Ours are a little off the beat, right? They're not the most common when you're turning on the radio on Christmas Day, but Feliz Navidad is pretty common. Yeah. The other two, and All I Want for Christmas, the Mariah Carey one, is pretty common too. So, yeah, we love to hear your feedback when it comes to your favorite songs, and now we're about Home Alone, so maybe you could put in the comments which Home Alone did you like, the first or the second one better. I think most people like the first, right, Joe?
Yeah, most people like the first one a bit better. Some people like the second one better, but most people don't like the third through sixth.
There was 6?
There were 6 movies,
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, see, that's how far off the radar those movies are to me. I only have seen the first 2, and that's it.
And anyways, that's kind of it for the first segment.
We hope you
We're
enjoyed
on to the second.
segment.
And welcome to our next segment. And this segment we're going to do something a little special. So we are going to be making parody commercials. So
until we can actually get a real commercial and get sponsored, right, Joe?
Yeah. Which is why you should
one day
really
we'd
share
like to
this
do...
podcast. Anyways.
Or you're going to have to listen to our parody commercials.
Okay, let's get started.
So, Joe, what's your first parody commercial?
Have you ever wanted a burger that sort of tastes like something? Well, get one at Quick Donald's. Quick Donald's will get you your burger in minutes. Wait, what? Will it taste good?
It will taste almost good. Like, it's fast.
It's serviceable.
Right.
Now, is it healthy? Absolutely not. According to our own nutritional info, one of our burgers is actually really unhealthy for you and will probably turn you fat. Like the Super Size Me, which was made in response to our Super Size meals, which we eventually removed. But the point is, our burgers are guaranteed to bring you such joyous things as heart attacks, strokes, and seizures if you eat too much.
And a big butt.
Yep, and a big butt.
And if you go to your local Quick Donald's and tell them that if you mention the Thinking is Infinite podcast, you'll get a double, triple cheeseburger, big butt cheeseburger for what? $2.99, right?
Wow.
$2.99 for a big butt triple cheeseburger.
Don't actually do this. But yeah, that's actually the best part of Quick Donald's. Not only do we serve very bad burgers, but we also make sure that our burgers are sort of cheap. Well, actually, not really cheap. Our burgers cost like $9, but it's worth it. Because we make them quick.
Remember, tell them Thinking is Infinite podcast. Get the burger for $2.99.
Don't actually do this, folks. On to the next ad.
Okay, so the next ad I'd like to read, Joe, is something called Cheesums.
Okay.
Reduced fat Cheesums.
Cheesums.
Yes. So if you eat, you can eat double the amount for the same amount of fat.
Wow, that's so great.
And they're greasier, right? And saltier than the competitors, like Cheez-Its.
Whoa. That's so amazing. And
now, you can order it, but you can order it online. Do you know this, Joe?
Yeah.
And in the coupon code at the very end of checkout, put Thinking is Infinite podcast, and you get a 10% off your next order.
Yeah, that sounds great. And the best part is that salt and all this salt will probably give you a lot of health problems, high blood pressure,
swelling of the fingers and ankles.
But make sure that you order them because we want our cash. Actually, we won't really be clear about all this because we actually spend a lot of money on corrupting your senators in order to get them to
don't tell
buy
us
our
where we
stuff.
make it because we made in China.
Yep. And that's the best part. We fund Uyghur abuse.
Almost real cheese.
Sort of.
Do we have any more ads? I think that's pretty good.
I think we have one more.
Joe's got one more ad that he'd like to play for us. Joe, I'll take it away. I'm new to this one, and let's roll.
Do you want your information to be constantly spied on? Do you want some to feel like someone is constantly looking over your shoulder and creeping you out? Well, introducing Loggle. Loggle is a free search engine, or sort of free. You see, you're actually the product in this case, meaning that we sell directly to advertisers who will maybe take some of your information, like your name, your credit card info, a bunch of other stuff we don't really want to say, because we actually make it very difficult to actually change those privacy settings.
So when you watch a Spanish video, we'll speak Spanish to you.
Yep, and we'll recommend ads that actually target you. That's the best part of this experience. It really makes you feel like someone's constantly stalking you.
Does it have extra spyware?
Yes, it does! It actually has spyware that tracks your browsing history.
Oh, I love being tracked. I love the internet knowing exactly what I'm doing every second of every day.
Who doesn't?
It's amazing.
I mean, who doesn't like the feeling that that every move that they make is constantly being watched? And the best part is that we actually let apps track your camera for you.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? I think they also know when I'm on the toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, it lets our corporate advertisers make money. We don't really give a shit about you.
There we lost our clean podcast designation.
Sorry. Sorry about that.
He said ship. So let's tie up this commercial, Joe, because right now I think we're getting in a little trouble. Might as well play some music.
Get Loggle. Please make us money and get Loggle,
and
so that we can make our money.
Yes, and before you go, I want you to understand that we now can get inside your brain with Loggle. And even if you're thinking about it, we'll show it to you on your web browser, right, Joe?
We will be soon. That's a new technology in development, which we're actively keeping secret. Loggle,
we know what you're doing.
We're always watching you. Anyway, that concludes our parody commercials.
Until we can get real ads.
Okay, let's go to the IRL. Hey guys, welcome to our third segment, not the IRL, but where Dad has actually just surprised me. He wants to actually talk about something, so take it away.
Well, here's the thing. Right now we're in the midst of, unfortunately, unfortunately another COVID season, right, Joe?
Yeah.
And, of course, we know that, God forbid, I hope everyone takes care of themselves, has a plan, right? If you happen to get sick and know where you're going to go for any treatments, I think that's the best way of going about it. And believe me, we could sit here and, Joe, you and I could talk until we're blue in the face and be sad about it or scare everyone. But there are some things out there that can help, and it's not going to make it go away. Of course, the things like follow your doctor's orders when it comes to certain things, but there's certain things you can do at home. Did you know, Joe, there's certain things you can do at home to keep yourself healthy? Vitamins, exercise,
yeah, those
vitamin
kind of
C,
things.
zinc.
Those kind of things have been very known, and those kind of things actually do keep you healthy. They boost your immune system. They keep your body in shape, and they're overall just good ideas to do.
Well, there's one thing that I read that I'd love to share with everybody. Now, listen, if you happen to get COVID, obviously speak to your doctor. If you happen to, feel like you need
don't
to
take
get a
any of this as medical advice, because I feel like
Joe's nervous. He thinks I'm going to give out advice that's going to be to tell people not to get vaccinated.
But seriously though, giving medical advice from a podcast is not a good idea unless the person on the podcast is a doctor. Then you should probably listen to them. But if they're not, and just speak to your doctor. Okay, for any medical advice, I don't really want to seem like I'm peddling some sort of narrative or, peddling some sort of specific medical advice. So just listen to your doctor for any of that.
Well, here's what I did hear from a doctor, Joe. So this is actually secondhand from a doctor, and I did my own research after I heard the doctor say it. Okay? There's certain things you can gargle, okay? So if you gargle hydrogen peroxide, which is over the counter, you can buy it. Now, Joe, do you know what hydrogen peroxide is? 3% hydrogen peroxide?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Now, not the whole thing. Not the whole thing of hydrogen peroxide, but a diluted version of it, okay? If you buy a spray bottle, okay, you can buy them on Amazon, and you dilute the hydrogen peroxide only a little bit with water, okay? You spray it up your nose, and you sniff it, and then you spit it out. It's kind of disgusting, but it's shown. It's something that people use all the time. Hydrogen peroxide, people use it to brush their teeth in a diluted way. It's not poisonous. You're not supposed to drink it as is. You're supposed to dilute it, but if you dilute it, And
I have actually heard. I've actually used hydrogen peroxide in chemistry. So.
Of course. So it's something I used to use on my cuts and things like that. So it's a safe over-the-counter product. And you gargle it if you feel like you've been exposed with someone. If you do this, it can help and slow down the virus a little bit. And I really thought that it was such a good thing. It's something positive to give out to someone. And if you give that information out, high doses of vitamin C, no one ever talks about that. Unfortunately, the one thing I don't quite understand is why the government hasn't talked enough about the treatments. Yes, I know vaccines help. Believe me, I got the vaccine myself, and I know that
it does help with the death rate. Definitely, even like with the new strains, it helps with the death rate.
Yeah,
so
and I've done it, and as far as the booster goes, I haven't done it yet, but I'm just hitting my 6-month point now.
Yeah,
me personally, but listen to your doctor when it comes to how you should
handle things.
But if you happen to you got to take care of yourself at home, too. So have a bottle of peroxide in the house. Have vitamin C in high doses. Have zinc, vitamin D. All these little things can help us get through this season.
I feel like hydrogen peroxide might need to be studied a bit more, just because I feel like this is a very new study, it seems.
But it really isn't.
I feel like
people have been doing it for years.
To prevent other illnesses, not necessarily COVID.
Not necessarily.
Because other germs react differently to things. So I feel like there needs to be sort of like a study with COVID to confirm its use. But yeah, I mean, if it is a possibility, then
I'm not saying it's going to make it go away, but nasal rinses have been used for years, whether it be saline, whether it be, some people have been using nasal rinses for quite some time.
Like nasal spray, those kind of things. Like that has been used for years, but it's mainly been used to fight colds and flus. So I feel like if these kind of things develop, I feel like it should be paid attention to, but not go out right away. I feel like there should be studies to confirm it works, and then go and roll this stuff out, or at least show that it works, and that kind of stuff.
Well, here's the thing: it was actually used in Ghana. Okay, during this pandemic, okay, it said diluted hydrogen peroxide can help to destroy invading viruses, bacteria, and fungi. We have suggested deployment of hydrogen peroxide as an oral cleansing agent to destroy the virus. None of our clinical research team members and their relatives protecting themselves only with face masks while caring for COVID-19 patients who use peroxide have had symptoms of the suggestive of the disease. Now, this is the Shai Osokodu District Hospital in Dodawa.
Okay.
So read this, Joe.
Okay. Previously, 27 other staff at that hospital had become infected caring for COVID-19 patients. Dr. Richard Cheng's success with vitamin C is published and known to the WHO, NIH, and CDC. To augment the effect of vitamin C, we use nasal drops containing 0.5% hydrogen peroxide and reduce the risk of infecting healthcare workers. But even better is to prevent a person ever getting into this critical phase. That's why early intervention, taking 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C an hour upon first signs of infection, is likely to save even more lives. This reduces duration and severity of symptoms, with most people becoming symptom-free within 24 hours. It takes an average of 2 weeks to trigger the cytokine storm phase. That's something I've actually never read before. I've never read about vitamin C being used for COVID. I've read about it being used for other things. I know that it can prevent sicknesses and boost your immune system overall, but I've never heard of it being used for that purpose. Like I said, I feel like,
listen,
with any advice, first of all, it's not going to knock it out completely. Second of all, it's more of a thing to help, but it's more I still feel kind of cautious about it, honestly.
Of course, but you know what? Here's the thing, Joe. It itself is not going to harm you. If you do it the right way, really. If you dilute it, now it may not make it go away, but it can't harm you. So
I guess that's true.
If you happen to feel a little sick, try this before anything else, and if you get diagnosed, of course, talk to your doctor, and see what the best course of action is. And if you can get your hands on the antibody treatments, get the antibody treatments, but have a plan. I think the point I'm trying to make, Joe, is have a plan. And I have a plan right now. I have a doctor's name in my phone that I will call immediately. God forbid I get it. And I'm going to take precautionary measures, take measures in advance to help you get through this season, right? Because we need everyone here healthy, right? We need our podcast listeners to keep listening, to be healthy and be happy and have a great Christmas time, right, Joe?
That's what we want most. And we'll see you on our IRL.
Let me get the...
Hey guys, welcome to our IRL segment, I meant. And we're going to be talking
we're in the
about...
Jeep Cherokee Studios, right, Joe?
Yep. And we're going to be talking about... reverse.
I'm going to reverse.
Okay.
I gotta get the defroster on, Joe.
Okay. But seriously, today we're going to be talking about Christmas lights, and more specifically the best Christmas lights on our block.
Well, on your block.
Yeah.
I have some pretty cool ones on my block.
Yeah, there are a bunch of cool light displays, like really cool light displays that we have seen that we just want to talk about. There was like this one house. I remember it being actually near your house, but it was an amazing display. It was filled with lights. They had like a walkway that had like lights that was like an aisle, and that if you actually turn on, there's like a radio station, you tune into that radio station near that block, and it'll actually play songs. So, like, songs that they've pre-designated for that station, actually.
Yeah,
They basically made something that could, like, hijack one of the satellites or whatever. Not really hijack, but, like, how do you say it?
No, I don't think it's hijacking. I think they could just notice it's a radio frequency that's only good for like a few houses, right? And I think that's what they do because and it is fantastic. And I know everyone has a neighborhood that's listening here that has amazing Christmas lights, and it's one of the most fun things we do every year, right, Joe?
Yeah.
I know you've done it. I know you and I have done that last year. Maybe we'll do that again this year on Christmas Day, on Christmas night before you go back home, and we can go check out some of those lights, and we'll check out that house.
Yeah.
So what are the other things you like to see?
I like to see...
What other houses have you remembered and said, wow,
well,
really
actually,
good?
My neighbor's house is actually very decorated for Christmas. They have, like, a bunch of inflatables. They have a lot of, like, lights all over the place. They have, like, lights on, like, near the doors. Oh, that one's really good.
Yeah, now you can't see it. Our podcast listeners can't see it, but we're turning onto a
We're actually turning into a road, a house that looks really nice. You have the lights, like, right on, like, all the bushes. There's, like, a lights covering, like, the trees. And, like, of course, you have, like, reefs with lights covering them. And there's also one with, like, lights covering, like, really tall bushes and, like, kind of looks like wires, but, like, with lights instead. There's so many cool and creative light displays that I feel deserve attention, which is actually why what I want to do at least one day is, like, take a picture of all these light displays and, like, post them. Like, have, like, the best Christmas light displays.
Well, I think, you know what, Joe? Why don't we do that? Why don't we, for our Christmas Day, when I take you out, we're going to drive around to those houses. I have a list of all the houses in my neighborhood that have done an amazing job. And what we'll do is you could share them on the Thinking is Infinite Facebook page, right, Joe?
Yeah, we could do that. Especially because I really like these light displays. I feel like they're just so, like, creative, and how, like, they're very artistic, how they have these sort of, like, light illusions and things, and I just feel like it really gets you in the Christmas spirit, doesn't it?
I love it. It certainly does to me too. And Joe, everyone out there, we want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays. I know Hanukkah's already passed, but we hope you had a Happy Hanukkah as well if you celebrate Hanukkah.
Happy Kwanzaa if you celebrate that.
Whatever it is that you're celebrating. And
Happy Holidays.
Happy Holidays. And next episode, we'd like to do our little year end, right, Joe?
Yep.
So we'll do
the year.
Not only year end, we could do our New Year's resolutions, right, Joe?
A recap of the year, even.
A recap, and I can tell you one of the big highlights is
good and bad
is what we've been doing over the past few months, right, Joe? Since September, we started this podcast.
We could talk about the experiences with that. We could talk about a lot of different things. And I feel like, but that is what's coming up. And for right now, we wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and Happy Holidays to you all.
We love every one of you.
Please share. Bye.
And that's it for our podcast. Make sure to leave us a rating and give us a review, and that's it. See you next week.